Welcome. Let's dive into Centrify in Linux. First, we'll explore how Centrify is all about making identity management secure and seamless. It's a game changer for Linux systems, ensuring robust security. We'll also take a sneak peek at what's ahead. Buckle up, it's going to be an enlightening journey. Hi everyone, I am Catherine Scott. And for over 12 years, I have helped businesses like yours harness the power of ERP systems to unlock their full potential. Today, I want to walk you through how our solution doesn't just meet your needs, it anticipates them. Think of it as your business nervous system, intelligent, responsive, and always working for you. Let's dive into the technical magic behind it, because when you understand how it works, you'll see exactly why it's a game changer. Now let's unravel Centrify. It's like the Swiss Army knife of identity management. It secures and streamlines access. With compatibility across systems, it fits right in. And a touch of history. Well, who doesn't like a bit of Centrify lore? Let's get to know it better. Here's why Centrify's a superstar for Linux. Better security, smoother user management, and less hassle for admins. It also keeps you on the right side of compliance. Think of it as your system's personal trainer, strengthening and shaping it for peak performance. Before starting, let's check off the essentials. Supported Linux versions. Uncheck. Hardware specs. Uncheck. Prerequisite software and network needs. Double check. Think of this as the pre-flight checklist before we take off with Centrify. Prep time. Updating your OS, installing dependencies, and verifying user permissions are a must. And don't forget to set up those directories. It's like arranging your workspace before starting a project. A little prep now saves a lot of headaches later. Installation, here we go. Download the package, run the installer, and embrace those license agreements. Yes, those lengthy ones. Once you're through, the setup is complete. Pat yourself on the back, you're one step closer to secure management. Configuring the Centrify Agent. Easy peasy. Access the file, tweak the settings, and give it a test run. Don't forget to save your changes, because unsaved work is a heartbreak waiting to happen. Let's make it perfect. Time to connect to the Active Directory. Add Linux to the domain, authenticate yourself, and ensure everything's verified. If there's an issue, don't panic. It's just the system's way of saying it needs attention. Let's set those authentication policies. Define the rules, assign roles, and add an extra layer of security with multi-factor authentication. Trust me, your system will thank you later for being so thoughtful. Trouble doesn't scare us. If issues pop up, check for errors, dive into those logs, and reinstall if needed. Still stuck? Don't hesitate to call for backup. Support is there to save the day. Before we get started, let's make sure everything is running smoothly. We'll first check if all necessary services are up. Then we'll dive into configurations, because accuracy is key. Authentication should work seamlessly, so we'll validate that too. And of course, we'll tackle common setup headaches before they become real problems. Let's get to it. Now let's play around with some commands. Centrify has a bunch of useful CLI options that make life easier. We'll look at managing users and roles, because security should never be an afterthought. Then we'll configure access controls like a pro. Finally, automation is our best friend, so we'll script some tasks to make things hands-free. Security isn't just a checkbox, it's a mindset. First, we bring in multi-factor authentication for an extra layer of protection. Then we lock things down with role-based access, because not everyone should have the keys to the kingdom. We'll keep an eye on security threats like hawks and apply the least privilege principle to keep things tight. Let's make your Linux system a fortress. Performance matters. We'll speed up authentication to avoid delays. No one likes to wait. Next, we'll cut down on service bloat for a leaner system. Resource allocation. Yep, we'll fine-tune that too. Lastly, monitoring performance metrics helps us find and fix bottlenecks before they slow things down. Let's make your system lightning fast. Logs don't lie. First, we turn on auditing so we have a record of everything important. Then we dive into security logs because threats don't announce themselves. Setting up real-time alerts keeps us ahead of trouble. And yes, compliance is a must, so we'll make sure our logging meets regulatory standards. Let's keep a watchful eye. Centrify is like a Swiss Army knife for Linux security. We'll see how it secures remote access, no more worrying about outsiders sneaking in. Then, privileged account management keeps control where it belongs. We'll integrate with directory services to streamline authentication. And let's not forget cloud security. It's the future, so let's fortify it. Technology never stands still, and neither should security. First, we update security policies to stay ahead. Then we'll keep up with Centrify's new features, because why not use the best tools available? Emerging threats. No problem, we'll adapt. And scalability ensures we're ready for future growth. Let's future-proof your setup. And that's a wrap. We covered validation, security, performance monitoring, basically all the essentials. Remember to apply best practices because a solid foundation makes life easier. If you want to dive deeper, there are tons of learning resources available. Finally, let's plan the next steps. You now have the roadmap, so let's get moving. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.